that we have.
Don't you think education is the key, golden key for development and not infrastructure?
Recently, Myanmar has been in news. There was a proposal for fencing between the two, India and Myanmar. Repercussions of that, pros and cons. Just as you, what is your view on it?
Now tell me one thing, politics apart.
Yes, sir.
Now let's again talk in terms of the Pakistan constitution. And they have a very interesting system. Once the elections are declared,
Yes.
they ask for a unity government. In fact, they ask the prime minister to step down.
Sir, may I come in?
Please
Please
come.
come.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please.
Thank you, sir.
Avinash, welcome.
Yes.
Are you undergoing training or you are on?
Sir, I am on EOL.
Okay. So this is your first time, second time you are appearing for interview?
Yes, sir. This is my second attempt.
Okay. Tell me, you want to become a civil servant or a bureaucrat in the IAS. Okay.
Yes.
What are the main attributes or which can make a bureaucrat, especially an IAS officer, a very successful officer, which you would like to be rather?
So some of the traits in a civil servant should be that he should have professional competence. Second should be he should be a man of integrity. He should be displaying leadership qualities, and he should have enough emotional intelligence.
Okay. Ethics is one of the subjects these days.
Yes, sir.
Still, we find many officers get caught and indulge in
Yes.
corruption and all that. So, where is the problem? Can ethics be taught?
Sir, definitely ethics can be taught. Ethics involves, for example, in my study of ethics, I have come to know of areas that would have otherwise been gray areas for me. So ethics helps us distinguish or cross that gray areas and go into finer versions of either black or white.
Okay. You come from the state of Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
And Uttar Pradesh is not among the top states, in development and all that.
Yes.
Isn't? So, in case you get selected and you go to your own state,
Yes.
you naturally would like to contribute. What is that you will do or make difference, and that you will be Avanish will be known? Okay, he is a great officer. You must be having something in mind.
Sir, I think we need to get the basics right. For example, for Uttar Pradesh to get its socio-economic parameters high, I think first would be infrastructure and connectivity. US was built on the basis of its roads, and that would be the model for Uttar Pradesh as well. So we are already undergoing massive expressway expansions and related infrastructure projects. So that would be. The other is the potential of tourism in Uttar Pradesh, which can bring large amount of employment opportunities, especially given the huge demographic dividend that we have.
Avanish, you are right. This is for economic growth.
Yes, sir.
But if you take example of Kerala,
Yes, sir.
what is the emphasis on a particular thing which was there, which Kerala and Tamil Nadu remain, I think, on the top on every parameter,
Yes, sir.
barring
So-
one or two. On
so
every
it would
parameter,
be-
these two states are. What was their initial thrust that they are on the top? Was it infrastructure or something else?
So it was the focus on universal health and education that
So,
we have.
don't you think education is the key, golden key for development and not infrastructure?
Yes, sir. So I would say, but education, yes, I would agree that education has to be priority, but education itself would be enabled by infrastructure. So when we say infrastructure, it means the wider ambit which covers social infrastructure of health and education as well.
So infrastructure, social, and education, social.
Yes.
By roads alone, I think, what I think,
Yes.
because Kerala didn't have that infrastructure,
Yes.
which I think UP has developed in last few years.
Yes.
Great infrastructure we all see and anyhow that. No, so in fact, good governance is that we intend to have.
Yes.
What are main aspects of good governance, which you think is very important, one or two?
Sir, good governance should comprise of rule of law. It should be zero tolerance towards corruption. It should be towards The focus should be towards minimum government and maximum governance, which is how we can ease the interface towards public services
So tell the
between
main points, then we'll focus on one particular. There are 7 to 8
parameters that are given by word. Sorry, sir, I'm not able to.
It doesn't matter. We'll again second round. I'll come.
Thank you, sir. Yes,
in
sir.
Electronics and Communication Engineering from BIT Misra.
Yes, sir.
And after that, and this was second attempt also.
Yes, sir.
What were you doing in between?
Sir, since 2019 to 22, before the CSE attempt, I was working in the semiconductor industry as an analog design engineer in an MNC in Bangalore.
Right. So that brings me to the question of chip technology. What are the efforts of the government to give a fillip to the chip manufacturing in India?
Sir, to add to that, India is one of the biggest destination when it comes to chip design. But for chip manufacturing itself, the government of India has undertaken India Semiconductor Mission, which is a $10 billion capex subsidy for setting up manufacturing plants related to chip. So in that we have seen, for example, most recently we see a deal between Tata and Tower Semiconductors for setting up chip manufacturing plants, which would be manufacturing legacy chips of 28 nanometer and above. In that we also have subsidies for ATMP and OSAT facilities, and we see some of them coming up in Karnataka, in Bangalore especially.
Right. Do you have any idea about the IT Act?
Yes, sir.
When was it amended?
So IT Act was enacted in 2000, but I'm not aware of the amendment. But recently, the IT Rules 2021 have been notified, and the subsequent amendments to it.
What aspects of the IT Act have been decriminalized?
Sir, Section 66A of the IT Act, which was to punish offensive messages or messages which are grossly offensive, it was turned down by the Supreme Court in Shreya Singhal case versus Union of India. So in the judgment, Supreme Court held that such widely terms such as grossly offensive, etc., find a very wide ambit, and they could have a chilling effect on the free speech, which is a constitutionally protected right.
Do you have some idea about the gaming industry?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And the government wants self-regulation on that.
Yes,
but the industry is not very happy about it. What would be possible reasons for that?
Sir, I think self-regulation is a good move when it comes to nascent industries like gaming industry, because there are plethora of evolving issues that need to be addressed, and self-regulation would be the better way because it is closer to the stakeholders involved. Sir, I'm not sure why gaming industry as such would resent self-regulation, but the probable reasons could be because they want definite rules or they want to remain out of the ambit of regulations as such.
Right. Thanks for the time being.
Thank you,
sir.
Okay, we were talking of the leadership qualities.
Yes.
Is a leader born or he is developed? Is there anything called born leader?
No, so I think leadership is a quality that can be developed. So I do not believe in naturally born leaders. Leaders are made out of their struggles and through their learnings.
And who is a leader?
Sir,
who would you call a leader?
Sorry, sir.
Who would you call a leader?
So a leader is a person who is able to articulate, guide, and drive vision into multiple people.
Okay. What style of leadership you will believe in or practice? There are different styles of leadership.
So if I can think, there would be, for example, a technocratic leadership where the person is revered because he has a specific knowledge in that area. There is democratic leadership where the consensus of all the members are weighed equally and then taken by the leader. There is autocratic leadership where the individual takes decisions on his own and implements them.
Have you heard of servant leadership?
Sorry, sir?
Servant leadership. Have you heard of that?
No, sir, I haven't heard of it.
There are two books by James Hunter.
Okay.
James Hunter.
Yes, sir.
He has talked about servant leadership.
So I'll read.
Who could you allude to as a servant leader in an Indian context?
Sir, the Prime Minister referred to himself
No.
as the chief servant or the Pradhan Sevak. So I think responding to the
But
pressures of
he is
the
wielding power from his position as a prime minister.
yes,
Who is a servant leader?
sorry, sir.
He may not be in any position, but still he would be a leader. What qualities would you want a servant leader to have so that people will like him, adore him, and follow him?
A servant leader?
Yeah.
Sir, if we talk about people staying aloof from power politics and yet gaining strength, that would be the example of Mahatma Gandhi. He never participated in politics himself directly. So that would be one example of servant leadership. The qualities that would be in a person would be reticence from very active affairs. And
One single quality, let's say,
yes, sir, a single quality of
a servant leader. The core quality.
sir, I
Others-
would say selflessness.
Okay, others first.
Yeah.
Others first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. You have spoken of EQ.
Yes, sir.
In what domains do we exist? How many domains are there in which a human being lives his life? Is it only the IQ, only the EQ? Is there anything else that he lives in?
Sir, we live in the intersection of multiple spheres, so it would be material sphere that we live in. It would be intelligence, the gray matter that we call. It
Have you
would
heard
be-
of spiritual quotient?
Yes, sir. I have.
Have you heard of it?
Yes, sir.
What is it all about?
Sir, a spiritual quotient would be a person's ability to deal with matters that are beyond the realm of this world.
Mhm.
To gain an understanding of the meta version of things per se.
So can you enhance your SQ?
Yes, sir. It can definitely be enhanced.
Okay. Right. Recently, Myanmar has been in news.
Yes, sir.
There was a proposal for fencing
Yes, sir.
between the two, India
Yes.
and Myanmar. Repercussions of that, pros and cons. Just as you, what is your view on it?
Sir, the 1600 plus kilometer border between India and Myanmar, that
Which are
needs
the,
to
which
be
are the
fenced.
four states through which it runs?
Sir, it goes through Arunachal, Nagaland, Manipur, and Mizoram. These are the four states which, sir, if I talk about the cons of it, it would be because there are cross-border ethnic linkages. So it could lead to resistance from the local groups on the fencing. The other con would be the terrain is very difficult. So the difficulties that we would encounter in fencing them would be very difficult as such. The pros would be it would help India to regulate the cross-border movement and to track the activities of ethnic armed militias which have evolved in Myanmar post coup.
If we had gone in for FMR,
Yes, sir.
16 kilometers other side,
Yes.
now what prompts us to go in for a fencing now? What
Sir,
has changed since 2018?
Sir, there are two reasons that come to my mind. One is the coup in Myanmar that has led to army control now retaining only in the urban centers, and the peripheries have been taken by ethnic armed militias.
Security reasons, basically.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is a lot of turbulence in Red Sea now because
Yes.
of Houthis.
Yes.
So, what is your view? How this can be tackled?
Sir, the Red Sea has seen substantial attacks by Houthi rebels on innocent seafarers as well. So, for example, West has formed an alliance known as Operation Prosperity Guardian, led
Yeah.
by US and others. India also has increased its surveillance and raking the neighboring region. And for example, we can use the Indian Ocean Center Information Fusion Center, Indian Ocean Region Information Fusion Center, which is basically a coordination agency between the various navies, information sharing between them. So through the various multilateral platforms that we have for Indian Ocean, we can cooperate with littoral nations and evolve a common strategy on this.
Good, well done.
Now that you're aspiring to be in the IAS, let us talk in
Yes.
terms of health,
Yes,
right? There's something as Ayushman Bharat.
yes.
Is there some other name for that?
Sorry. So Ayushman Bharat, this name for other scheme?
Is there some other name for it also?
Sir, it is called Ayushman Bharat Jan Arogya Yojana.
Right. Can you tell us something about that, and especially the problems in its implementation?
Sir, Ayushman Bharat Yojana as such tries to deal with healthcare in a very holistic way. For example, 1.5 lakh PSCs into Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Center, therefore tackling the problem of primary healthcare as well. Then for tertiary and secondary healthcare providers, it seeks to establish an insurance model wherein every family identified as per socioeconomic caste census, around 55 crore individuals are covered. So they get every family gets a cover of 5 lakh per annum per family of healthcare access under it.
How would you broad base it?
Sir, broad basing health insurance as such in India.
Yeah.
Sir, the one problem that comes to my mind is the problem of the missing middle. So the urban elite or the rich can afford private healthcare insurance, and the 55 crore people who have been covered by the Ayushman Bharat Yojana. That leaves a large chunk of people in the middle as such. And I think one of the step could be that health insurance as such could be incentivized. So it could be partly subsidized by the government for the missing middle, and the other would be to reduce the GST on the healthcare insurance, because it is currently at 18%. So there could be some rationalization in the GST rate as such. For the bottom 55 crore, as per the latest report, there have been only 22 crore beneficiaries identified. So the identification of beneficiaries under that scheme should be launched on the mission mode.
You also read non-fiction books.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us something about a book that you have read recently?
So most recently, I read Confessions of a Thug by Philip Meadows Taylor. So it is a book that covers in which the police officer takes the confession of a thug who had committed over 1,000 plus murders and thuggy acts over his lifetime.
You were also elected prefect in class 11th,
Yes, sir.
right? Can you tell us something that, and you have also opted for political science and international relations, which means that you must have studied comparative politics also,
Yes, sir.
right? Let us say we are talking in terms of electoral reforms.
Yes, sir.
What are the good features of elections that we can borrow from Nepal?
So one of the things that comes to my mind is that in India we have a FPTP system, which is first past the post system. So a party getting less than 50% of the votes has secured 75% of the seats, has been the case. So this is leading to a large amount of wastage of votes. In Nepal, what they have introduced is that they did not move entirely to the proportional representation system, wherein a party would get seats in proportion to its vote share. Rather, they have used a blend of FPTP and a proportional representation system. So I think what India can learn from this is that when post delimitation 2026, we introduce additional seats. It could be those seats could go to proportional representation from each of the state.
Now tell me one thing, politics apart.
Yes, sir.
Now let's again talk in terms of the Pakistan constitution. And they
Yes.
have a very interesting system. Once the elections are declared,
Yes, sir.
they ask for a unity government. In fact, they ask the prime minister to step down. Are you aware of this fact?
No, sir. I am aware that unity government is a government which is formed by consensus of all political parties.
Yeah. But they ask the prime minister to step down prior to the elections.
Sir, I was not aware of this. Thank you, sir.
Then we'll not have a discussion. Right. You're talking about watching TV talk shows.
Yes, sir.
What talk shows do you watch on the TV?
Sir, the one I had last seen was Satyamev Jayate, which is a talk show hosted by Amir Khan. The one I'm recently watching is Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. So he takes up
Beg your pardon, the second one you mentioned?
Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Tonight with John Oliver, right?
Yes. And he takes up a topic every week and he tries to educate about it in a humorous way. So that is something I really like.
You also watch YouTube videos?
Sir, the episodes of this are available on YouTube, so I mostly watch it on YouTube.
TED Talks?
I have seen some of them.
Right. Thank you.
Completion of a thug.
Yes, sir.
Thuggy was a very big problem in India
Yes, sir.
during the British period.
Yes.
What was it about? I mean, what was their modus operandi? Since you read the book.
Yes. Sir, I found it very interesting that the thuggy was not just a crude crime that was committed by the people. Rather, they would link it with spiritual and moral reasons as well. The thugs wouldn't link it. They declared Bhavani or Kali as their like prime goddess, and it was she who had instructed them to lead a life of thug.
That's
So-
what they felt.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And they would take like immense rituals before they would accompany a person and try to kill him. So occasionally what they would do is they would appear as a band of people who are traveling across the country.
Exactly, and you got that.
Yes.
Now tell me the person who is being given credit for dealing with or tackling this problem. Who was that? An army officer.
It's a colonial officer was
He-
yes, sir.
Colonel. Yes, now you fill the blank.
Sir, is it Mr. William Sleeman?
Yes.
You think?
Sleeman.
Yes.
He has left great legacy for Indian police. And now you are Indian police service also.
Yes, sir.
What did he do?
Sorry, sir, I have to read in
Not only
detail.
controlled, thuggy,
Yes, sir.
by very systematic method. Imagine the length and breadth of India, especially
Yes, sir.
from east to he went right south also.
Yes, sir.
But he gave some institutions. He created some institution which now has flourished or grown to great heights.
Sorry,
Anyhow.
if I had to take this, would it be CBI, sir?
CID,
Okay.
Criminal
Yes.
Investigations, Thuggy Department.
Yes, sir.
Initially, beginning you can say of Intelligence Bureau or Criminal
Yes.
CBI. It was there actually he created.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. And to commemorate his contribution to this control of Thuggy,
Yes, sir.
something has been named after him. What is that?
Sorry, sir.
Near Jabalpur.
Sorry, sir.
Anyhow, his railway station has been named Slimanpur or something.
Thank you.
That's about that. Okay. Now, what are one or two biggest challenges that UP is facing right now? Uttar Pradesh government in last 2 days, in case you are following up.
So the biggest challenge would be that there have been paper leaks, especially with respect to the UP Police Constable recruitment exams.
Okay, now you got the
Yes.
point. What has been done by the government of India to deal with this problem of paper leak?
Sir, the government of India recently, the parliament recently passed a bill which deals with paper leaks and introduces stringent punishment for those involved in
What
such
is that
an
punishment? Stringent, what you mentioned just now.
Sir, I am aware that the pecuniary fine exceeds around 1 crore rupees and imprisonment goes beyond 10 years. Sir,
10
I'll
years.
read about it.
But one state created much more stringent than that. In fact, the central government has followed that only. What was that? Punishment? Which state enacted a law where punishment is life imprisonment and fine is 10 crore? This is diluted version, 10 crore and
Yes.
10 years.
Sir, if I had to take this, would it be the state of Rajasthan?
Yes, very true.
Thank
That
you,
was
sir.
main issue there.
Yes, sir.
So now, as an administrator, this is a major challenge, and even DMs and IAS and IPS officers all are involved in tackling this issue
Yes, sir.
because it creates great, anxiety and wrong image of the government, in
Yes,
youth
sir.
especially. So, what has been done in addition to that, or why papers get leaked? So, and what steps have been taken? The law is one.
So the paper get leaked because of the emphasis or over emphasis on public sector employment as such. So the unemployment rate that we see among youth, that's very high, and public sector is seen as a great opportunity to work over here. So the stakes are very high, and there are people who want to take opportunity of such loopholes.
Okay. Another demand which now elections are around the corner,
Yes, sir.
that OPS.
Yes, sir.
You are already in the government.
Yes, sir.
Should OPS be revived or not?
No, sir. I think the NPS, which was introduced in 2004, that is a great move, because the OPS would lead to a great fiscal burden on our exchequer. And NPS, I think, which is being followed by most of the people in the private sector as well. So it is linked to market-linked gains in the corpus as such. So I think that is more fiscally sensible move.
But Central Armed Police Forces,
Yes,
they say, our role and risks are as much as, Indian Army or Defense Forces.
yes, sir.
And they are also demanding, and they won the case also in Delhi High Court to revive or implement OPS. So will it not lead to, demoralization or in this armed forces, where I think we cannot have disgruntled armed forces?
Sir, I think the spirit to serve in the army or in the paramilitary forces goes beyond the remuneration that we get. So I do not think it would lead to demoralization amongst the paramilitary forces as such. But if we see the steps that have been taken towards paramilitary forces in the past few years, they have been good enough. For example, with respect to sanctioning leaves, paramilitary forces have been getting their due share of leaves, personals have been getting their leaves. And especially with respect to, we have set up a modernization fund for defense and internal security. So they are laced with advanced weapons and everything. I also see some step being done towards their mental health and enabling the female member of the family of paramilitary forces so that they can function effectively.
Okay, excellent. Anything you would like to?
See, what I'm anticipating is, in your case, you have been able to answer the questions very well. You have been able to connect the dots also. You have been able to cross-link things, So that is in your favor, that you understand the issues very well.
Thank you.
And I may be very clear that now you are going to the interview for the IAS.
Yes.
So you must know all the schemes, etc., which of course you are knowing. But when is your interview, by the way?
20th March.
20th March, बहुत समय है. सबको आप don't take anything for granted, because you have to improve your performance.
Yes.
In terms, and this is the only place where you can interview. Whatever has been done in the written, so
Yes,
it's
sir.
on. See, the dice has been set.
Yes, sir.
But here the interview you can really. So don't take any chance anywhere. Read all the schemes. Do a bit of writing work also.
Okay.
No,
Yes.
don't be over what you can. We are very much satisfied. Let me tell you, but we do not want you to take any chance.
Yes, sir.
We do not want you to take any chance. So get into the issues, understand the issues, make some notes also, bullet points, etc., so that you're perfect. And there's no question of it's something like zero tolerance on non-perfection. You have to be perfect, right? So that is one area. And then, of course, whatever you have written, I think you have been able to answer all those things very well. And there's not much that we have to add. But the sir would certainly like to tell you something about the policing and other aspects in which he was interviewing you. And there are some areas where perhaps you may not be. But they now people start that you're already a police officer. They will start asking about that as well. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You could wear black socks instead,
Yes, sir. I'll change that.
or maybe the same color, either
Okay.
matching color
Yes.
or black.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Good.
And so about the tie color?
Tie red is flashy,
Okay.
not for interviews. You could wear a blue tie.
Sure, sir.
एक दो suggestion और हैं.
हाँ, sir.
This looks little formal. I think
Okay.
you can be like this.
Yeah.
Yes,
That is
you
much
can be
better,
like
much
that.
better.
If अपन किसी घर भी जाते हैं,
हाँ.
do you sit like that? We
No,
don't.
no. sir.
Natural.
This is like more formal. So like that.
Okay.
ठीक लगेगा.
And a bit of smile also.
Smile.
Yes.
This is the second thing which I observe.
Mhm.
Be little more smiling. Otherwise, your answers are fantastic.
Fantastic.
And you will do very well. In fact, we already formed opinion. You are the best that we have seen in last 2
Yes,
days.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I see no reason that you will not be in the IAS. You will be in case you have done well in
Written.
theory papers,
Yeah.
and equally you do well in your interview. So again, some more budget you go through, economic issues also, and Manipur you keep following what is happening in Manipur,
Sure.
and farmers issues also, and whether such things should be allowed or not allowed. Similar agitation, is it going through anywhere in the world? What is happening on Shambhu border or?
Sir, I read about it in Europe.
Europe also,
Europe,
they have
right.
brought tractors and
Yes.
all this thing going on.
Germany,
It's not-
France,
Ah,
all
In
those
France.
places.
Ah,
Right.
So new laws also, you have pros and cons, and challenges that will be there in its enforcement or implementation.